In this video I'm going to be talking about changes, final ideas, influences, what is going to be required to make my magazine, and a lot of other things too. Changes. I asked my peers to look at a certain amount of fonts and they got to decide which ones they liked the most by a ranking system. All of the fonts got mixed reviews, both good and bad. This indicated to me that I needed to find a new font and fast. So I took to the internet searching for a font which was big, bold and connoted the genre. Eventually, after a few lessons of searching, I managed to find a font and I think it's a definite keeper. It's big, bold, stands out, it definitely connotes the genre. It's a lot like the masthead for Metal Hammer, and I think it's the perfect font and it's one of the changes that I've made. The next changes came after I asked my peers which of 3 masthead titles they preferred the most. The 3 masthead titles were Annihilation, Mosh Pit and Breakdown. Annihilation came out the worst and it was the least popular, which was no surprise as it was a pretty poor name on my behalf, so I immediately removed that from my ideas. Then it was a toss-up between Mosh Pit and Breakdown. Both received equally good votes and they both were really liked by my peers. Eventually I decided to go with Breakdown because I just really liked the name and I'd rather have a masthead which was like 1 word instead of 2, because Mosh Pit would be down as 2 words whereas Breakdown's 1. Luckily for me, the majority of my peers seemed to like my other design ideas and other general ideas, which indicated to me that I didn't really have to change much and I could focus more on the things that did need changing. Magazine name and masthead designs. Like I said earlier, I decided that Breakdown was going to be my magazine name and that I'd found a font to use. I'm going to show a range of different masthead designs and eventually my final one. On screen is my initial masthead design idea. I got the font battleground and replaced the words with Breakdown with an exclamation mark. I used the exclamation mark as I pastiched it from Kerrang because I thought it connoted the genre and looked really cool. I like this font because it reminded me of the masthead from the metal magazine Metal Hammer, and it obviously looks like a lot of metal bands' logos, and I thought it would be the perfect font. But I know that I couldn't have it as just how it were because it was too boring and it isn't my own thing. So I had to put my own twist onto it to make it look cool and to make it stand out. After finding my initial font, I went straight to Adobe Photoshop and looked at ways I could manipulate the font to make it my own. First of all, I tried a range of different colours to see what would look best and what wouldn't. Shortly after, I went to find ways that I could manipulate the font to make it look eroded or broken. I looked at a range of brushes and eventually found one on the internet, and it managed to give my font an eroded effect, which I thought was cool because it connoted the genre. I didn't really want to have a broken effect like Kerrang because I want it to be my own magazine, not like an existing one. I would just pastiche little things from existing magazines. I really liked the blue font shown on screen. I thought it looked really good and it was something I should have made my final font similar to. I know that I couldn't have used blue for my final masthead colour as it does not connote the genre and it's too bright. So I decided to change it to red, and immediately I decided that this would be my final masthead colour. Red definitely connotes the genre, plus it also stands out. So if someone was looking at my masthead in a shop, it would immediately catch their eye. I thought it was the perfect colour, and it also worked well with the eroded effect. So on screen currently you can see my final masthead. Reader profile. Currently on screen is my reader profile. I got a lot of images to represent what the typical reader of Breakdown would be into. I've got stuff as gigs and events they go to, such as Download Festival, Leeds Festival, and Slam Dunk. Shop stage shopping such as Pulp, Empiricon, and HMV. Clothes they'd wear such as Vans. Drop Dead and Converse. TV shows they'd watch such as The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad, and not to mention things they'd eat and drink such as McDonald's and age drinks such as Monster and Relentless. I decided to include the key stats and I spoke about the breakdown reader. My key stats are 50% male, 50% female. Since my magazine appeals to both male and female, I thought that would be my key stats for people that would read it. I said that the median age would be 18, as my target audience is 16 to 25 year olds, but I think the majority of people would be 18 who are still in college or starting university. I came up with my circulation and readership thanks to the numbers in Kerrang and NME. Mostly Kerrang because Kerrang and my magazine are obviously very similar, and I thought it would be the best way to get those accurate numbers. The breakdown reader. Josh is 18 and music is his life. There is not a day that goes by that he doesn't listen to rock and metal. His style of music influences him on a daily basis, and it has allowed him to meet new people just like him. His taste in music has also allowed him to express his individuality through his fashion sense and choice of hobbies. When we say music is his life, we mean it. Music is part of his daily life. He listens to it on the bus to college. He listens to it when he's doing his coursework at home. And when he's not listening to music, he's either going to gigs, playing the guitar, or talking to his friends about music. Thanks to music, he has become the fashion creator in his group. His friends look to him as a form of fashion setter. His influence is by his idols, the people in bands and the icons of rock. He takes heavy inspiration from these men, and this impacts how he dresses and how he acts. They show him it is okay to be different, and that it gives him confidence to be himself. That is what rock and metal music is all about. As you can see, I used Josh as 18 because that was the median age of my magazine. I spoke about what music meant to him. Rock and metal is seen to have quite meaningful lyrics which people can relate to, which is why I said that music was his life. I spoke about the fashion sense, which is demonstrated through my pictures, and a lot of other things too. Cost and frequency. I decided to price my magazine at £1.80 and put it on a weekly release. This is to target my main rival, Kerrang. Kerrang is one of the only weekly rock and metal music magazines out on the market, and I feel like I can target them and challenge them. I've decided to make my magazine cheaper so I can go against them, and if price ever comes down to people wanting to buy a magazine, they'll buy mine because it's cheaper. I thought that a weekly release would also be good because there's always something going off in rock and metal, and there's always enough bands to fill up a weekly magazine. House style. The three colours which I have chosen for my house style are red, black and white. All three colours connote the genre of metal and rock and also work really well together. I initially wanted to use contrasting colours, but it didn't connote the genre very well and it would have looked odd on my page, whereas red, black and white work really well together. Red obviously symbolises blood and gore and stuff like that, which connotes the genre in that sense. Black, it can be used for anything, and so can white. So I thought they were the three colours to use. Also, I decided to pastiche something from Kerrang. At the bottom of the page, next to the page number, is the masthead and the number. This is definitely something I'd like to incorporate in my magazine, and I've decided to do this. So I will have breakdown and then the page number next to it. Cover lines. Here I have a list of potential cover lines which I could use. Britain's best band take over the world. I thought this was good because it implies that the band are massive if they're ready to take over the world. I thought this would be good as well because since my magazine is a British magazine, people look at that and they'd feel some sense of proudness. And also, they'll want to read on and read more about Britain's best band, and it's something that will catch the reader's attention. The next I've got is without regrets, without hatred, without perception. This could be like the band's journey to being where they are. Without regret, saying they've got to where they are without regretting. Without hatred, saying where they've got to without hatred. And without perception is standing out because that is the name of the band. I could incorporate the name of the band into the main cover line so the reader immediately knows who it is about. And finally, British metal is saved. It has always been said that rock is dying and stuff like that. And this would attract the reader's attention because massive letters saying metal is saved. It's like they want to read about the saviour and stuff like that. I think my personal favourites are the ones saying they're the best band in the world and the British metal is saved. I think that'd immediately catch the reader's attention and make them want to read on. I think that it's perfect because it's emphasis on best, and people will only want to read about the best, and if the best is in my magazine then people want to read about it.